So I think I've had like a pretty, I don't know if my childhood was normal or not, but I think with respect to the topic, which is going to be video games, I think it's pretty normal. Like a lot of people had the same thing. Basically, when I was a little kid, like some of my earliest memories are of the N64. I think the earliest is definitely the N64. I think Super Mario 64 was my first game. So we had N64 for the longest time. It was that, and then there was like the Donkey Kong game, but I never understood the Donkey Kong game, to be honest. I think I was too stupid. I would just wander around and be like, "What am I supposed to be doing right now?" And then I remember you could sometimes turn into like different monkeys, and I don't know. I didn't get it. Super Mario 64, I was on point. I beat that one. And I remember my dad playing this game called Turok, which was also on the N64, which I wasn't allowed to play. They wouldn't let me play M-rated game, or maybe even T-rated game. I don't remember. So we weren't allowed to play. I wasn't allowed to play Turok, but I remember sometimes I would like. I don't know if anybody had this, but like when you're a little kid and you're not allowed to watch something, you like keep trying to catch glimpses of it. Like, oh, I know my dad's playing Turok, so I'm like gonna walk up and ask him a question. Oh, I know my dad's playing Turok, so I'm gonna like stand. Like I would literally stand around the corner and be like, ooh, I can't. So I knew there was dinosaurs, and I don't know, it was kind of intense and confusing. I never ended up playing that game. The other one I can remember being really terrified of, or also really not really terrified of, really curious about, which I never really got to see at all because my parents were like, "Really, you cannot see this shit," was Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube. I wanted to play Resident Evil so bad because my mom and my dad would sit in the basement, they'd play it together, and I'd just be like, "Oh my God!" Like, I think I saw one glimpse of it once, where they were like pushing a block and solving a puzzle, and I think I was like, "Ah, that looks just like Zelda. Like, I could do that." And with Resident Evil 4, I also remember specifically, I can remember the conversation I had with my dad. He was in the bathroom blow drying his hair or whatever he was doing. I don't He didn't have that much hair, so he probably wasn't blow drying it. Maybe he was. I don't know. My parents are both hairdressers, so that's definitely not out of the realm of possibility that they'd be doing some extra shit on their hair. Anyway, I went to my dad. I would ambush him all the time and be like, "Can I play Resident Evil yet?" Like I kept asking him, like, "Am I allowed to play yet? Am I allowed to play?" And he'd be like, "No." And on this particular occasion, I went to the bathroom and I was like, "Hey, can I play Resident Evil now?" I think it's in the morning. Like it must be like 8 o'clock in the morning. Like he's getting ready for work or something, or early in the afternoon. He's like, "No," or he's not like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, whatever." And that's my memory of it at least. So I went downstairs and I booted up Resident Evil, and the game, when you first turn it on, it booted up with a cutscene of like these people running through the woods. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember exactly what happens, but I remember before the game even starts, there's a cutscene and there's these zombie dogs that start chasing you. And I was so terrified. Like, the scene was playing, and it was like I had never seen a horror movie before. I had never really seen anything scary before like that. It scared the absolute shit out of me. And at the end of the cutscene, you just appear inside the mansion. And I got inside the mansion and literally like I was having like virtual agoraphobia or some shit because my character like being in the house and me knowing that the dogs existed and were out there somewhere was like so overwhelmingly terrifying that I turned the GameCube off. And then I immediately went upstairs to my dad and was like, "Why did you let me play that?" Like I don't remember if I was crying or not. But yeah, that really scared the shit out of me. But yeah. Um so I had like N64, GameCube. I had Wind Waker. I remember my best friend Timothy in elementary school. He came over my house one time and I went upstairs. I was playing Wind Waker and I was pretty deep into the game because my parents had bought me the strategy guide. So I feel like I had that. I'm assuming that's why I was able to make progress. I was towards the end, I think. I don't remember exactly, but I came downstairs and the guy fucking deleted my save. Like, I got downstairs and he was like, "Hey, I accidentally deleted your save file." And I was just like, "What?" Like, that, like, immediately in my mind, even as like a young kid, I was like, "Nah, this kid is sus." Like, he did that shit on purpose. I don't know if it's because he wasn't allowed to have the game or whatever it was, but I was like, "Nah, trust completely broken, like, violated. You're done, Timothy." And I actually remember my brother was friends with his younger brother, and he told me that that kid's mom forced my brother to let him win in Mario Kart because he was crying about how he lost. So that just kind of wrapped up those two guys for me there. That's incredibly sus. First of all, you can't force kids to win in Mario Kart. That's against the rules, and you can't delete my save file in Zelda. That's way against the rules. But I end up beating the game later on anyway. GameCube was like really crazy. I'm trying to. This is supposed to be about memories, a specific memory I have of my dad with video games, but now it's turning into like a whole thing about video games of my whole childhood. I think the earliest thing with my dad was him playing Turok, him and my mom playing Resident Evil. And then the first memory that I have of actually playing a game with my dad, I think um was Madden. I don't know what year it was. I could probably figure it out, but I don't really want to start searching on the internet while I'm recording this. I'm just going to edit it with pictures of what I'm talking about later, I think. I remember we used to play Madden together. And the year that we had Madden, there was a team called the Echo Rhinos or something. There was a clothing brand called Echo Untitled that had sponsored the game. And there was a team of guys who were like all 99 capped, like the best stats in the game. And they all wore dirt bike helmets, and I was obsessed with dirt bikes, so of course I picked those guys. And I just remember whooping my dad's ass with that team and him being so frustrated. And then I actually felt bad. Like, I can have a specific memory. I'm like playing Madden, I throw like a really long pass and I get a touchdown off of it just so easy because my team is just OP. And my dad was like, "Oh, like he was really expecting to be able to beat me with like when I had the all 99s, but he got his ass whooped." And then my heart sank a little bit for him. Anyway, that's the precursor to the whole actual story, which was okay, years and years go by, and for the majority of the time when I was a kid, after a certain point, my dad actually wasn't around. He was in and out of jail and doing who knows what. I don't know if he was in jail or if he was just living somewhere else or if he was in a halfway house or whatever. But he would periodically be out of jail and come around. So I'd be like, "Hey, Um, I don't think usually my mom or my aunt, his sister, would tell me like, "Hey, your dad's out of jail. I think you're gonna see him soon." And I'd be like, "Okay, cool." And that went on and on. And one summer, my brother, and my dad ended up going to Hurricane Harbor. So that's like another, like, at least for me around here in New Jersey, going to Six Flags in the summer with my cousins was like, that's just what we did. We did Six Flags in Hurricane Harbor every summer. We'd get season pass and we would just go over and over and over and over again. And it was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Since I've gone as an adult, I'm like, how did I keep doing this over and over again? I go there now and I go on like 3 rides and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna go. I'm done. I'm done. Let's go home. Um, but yeah, this on this particular occasion, my dad's out of jail. He's got some time with the kids, my brother and I, and we're going to Hurricane Harbor. And at Hurricane Harbor, at Hurricane Harbor and Six Flags, there's terrifying rides. And when I was a kid, it was like I would really have to push myself to go on a new roller coaster. And my cousins and I were all kind of on the same page where we were like, nah, this shit is like scary, bro. Like the big rides, Nitro, El Toro, Batman even. I think Batman was the first one I went on where it goes upside down, and I was absolutely terrified. And I knew who Batman was, so when they had like a tunnel for the ride where you go in, like they had the whole theme where you're going in the ride and you're in like this sewer tunnel, and it was absolutely terrifying. Like I was literally like felt like I was like a vulnerable little guy who was just gonna get attacked. And then you get in the Batman ride and you're just spinning around and it was nighttime. I think I might have gone on that one with my dad actually. Of course, he was always the one pushing me to do the shit I didn't want to do. But at Hurricane Harbor, at the time that I'm talking about, they have this big ass slide, and you can see it right when you go in. When you're driving in, and you'd be sitting in line for a long time to get into the parking lot back then. I guess this would have been the early 2000s, maybe. Yeah, no, definitely early 2000s. Um, the big slide. It's like there's a tower, there's like two slides coming down, and then there's like the one that goes straight down. And of course, when I was a kid, every time I would drive in there, I'd be like, "Oh, there's no fucking way I'm going on that thing." Like I would look at it and I'd just be like, "Oh my god!" I would see like the people going in the slide. I'd just be like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, what are they doing?" It's the same thing as when they first built Kingda Ka. I saw that and I was just like, "Oh my god, there's no way!" And I didn't go on Kingda Ka for years either. It never happened. I went on it in my 20s. I was so terrified as a kid. And I was the oldest kid too, so I would have had to been the one to get everybody to do it. Anyway, we go to Hurricane Harbor, and I liked going on the other two slides that were connected to the giant straight down slide. So I was always, in that area trying to go down those two big tunnel slides because they had the two tall slides that would spin around and you'd be in a tunnel, and it was great. And on this occasion with my dad, I think he was trying to get us to go down the big slide, and I was just like, "There's no way, like no." And when you're a kid, it's not even like it's like, "No, I'm not doing it." It's literally just like you're petrified and you're about to start crying because it's so like it feels like life or death to go on this fucking slide. Um, and my dad was like, "Listen, if you go down this slide, the both of you, or maybe it was just me, I don't remember, but I think it was both me and my brother had to do it." Or actually, maybe it was just me. I don't know. I have to ask my brother. Shit, I can't remember. Anyway, my dad was like, "If you go down the slide, you can have any video game you want, any game." And I was like, "Oh, can I even get an M-rated game?" Oh, that's like a whole other thing. The story of getting M-rated games. I'll go into that after. Anyway, he was like, you can get any game you want," and I was like, "Yo." I wasn't getting games that often. Like I was playing the same games over and over and over and over again. I think this is an Xbox One era. So actually, I kind of do want to check what year that would have been. Xbox One release. Xbox One? No, not that. Of course, they released an Xbox called Xbox One. So it's like 2000, 2001 was Xbox. So this is between 2001 and 2005, I think. That makes sense. Anyway, he was like, "You go down the slide, you get whatever game you want." I was like, "Ah, shit, I'm doing it then." I just tanked it. I went down the slide. It was awesome. I don't remember going down it. I just remember I wanted to get whatever, being able to get whatever game you wanted was just like a huge thing. Like when I was a kid like that was huge. Went down the slide and went to the store, and I got this game called Area 51, which I've since looked up and was, I don't know, like just kind of a mid game according to like reviews and stuff back then. But to me, shit was crazy. I don't remember what the box art looked like. Let me I want to see it now. Oh, it just has the giant alien head. Yeah, so I saw Area 51 and I was like, "Ooh," cuz I was really into like I really liked Halo. I think I at this point I had played Halo because there was no way I was allowed to play Halo when I was a kid, like Halo, Call of Duty, all that stuff, like I said, Turok, all those violent games. It was like no, no, no. And even after my dad wasn't around, my mom was like even more just like, no, you're not gonna, you can't. But then eventually I somehow convinced her to let me play Halo. I don't remember what it was. I think Halo was like the one exception. I don't remember why. But whatever. Me being able to play this game, Area 51, it was M rated and I was getting it and it was like a huge deal. And my mom, like, I was like, my mom can't know I'm getting an M rated game. Like, I can only play it when I'm with my dad. So it's like, I couldn't even take this game home. And I got the game in the summer. And then the whole main point of this story that I'm telling, I didn't get to play this game because I could only play it when I was with my dad. And my dad was almost never around. Like I would see him for like a month at a time. And in that month even only a few times and then he would be just off doing some shit. And that winter, the winter following the time when I got that game, there was a snow day or like a big snowstorm. So I was at my cousin's house. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but basically it was a thing where it was like, you and your brother are gonna go with your dad to your cousin's house. There's gonna be a snow day, and you guys are gonna get snowed in. So I was gonna be spending 2 or 3 days with my dad, which was dope. And that's exactly what happened. We went there, and there was a snow day, and I basically just played this game Area 51 for like 2 days straight, and it was sick. I mean, this game was actually insane. When I was a kid, this game literally blew my mind. I can still remember the very beginning. There's like awesome cutscenes, and then you get to the base and you're doing the tutorial. You get in this elevator and you start descending into the base, and there's like fire and shit's blown up, and you get to the bottom, and this doctor comes out running out, and he's like, "Help me!" And he bangs on this glass, and then fucking like the claws of an alien comes out and like rips him out from his mouth, turns him inside out, and then he turns into a freak like ghoul alien. And this game was so fucked up. You had like teammates, and then your one teammate's head just gets ripped off in a cutscene, and it was just like, oh my god, oh my god. And then there's like this turret sequence where you're killing like tons and tons of aliens. And also the aliens in the game are also just like these big like bubblehead like classic aliens with like the big eyes that you would see on like a pen on the fucking boardwalk at the beach. So it was just like this weird Area 51 aliens, like felt like real life. Teammates get his head ripped off, and then you're in the turret section, and then at the end of the game, there's literally a fucking giant UFO. Oh wait, no, not even that. Before that even happens, there's this mad scientist guy that helps you. Oh no, no. What happened? The crazy thing is you fall into a vent and you get bit by one of these aliens, and then you get alien superpowers. And then there's like these alien super soldiers that have this gun that shoots blue balls. It was just so crazy. And there's a scene where you go down like a huge elevator. It was so fucked up. I was terrified, but I could not stop playing. Oh, and then there was this giant monster that attacks you inside of a cave. And then the end, there's a giant UFO, and there's literally these little, like the Greys, alien dudes, like shooting energy balls at you. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, I beat the whole entire game in those couple days, and it was so awesome. It was so sick. I think my save in that game even got deleted at one point, and I had to start over. But it was really fun. Anyway, then my dad decides that he's going to play Halo 1. Original Xbox Halo 1. So this will all make sense, I'm pretty sure. The timeline. My memories could be mixed up, but whatever. I'm not going to fact check myself. This is just how I remember it. I beat Area 51, and to my memory, I had already beaten Halo 1. I had already beaten Halo 1. I had already played Halo 1 multiplayer. I had already played Call of Duty 2 and 3, I think, at this point. So, like, I was pretty nasty on the sticks. Like, I knew what I was doing. Like, I cleaned Area 51. It really wasn't a big deal. But I was still at that age where the world building and, like, I was still into the single player games. Like, I still could get into that mindset and be like, oh, this is so cool. And, like, shoot all the enemies. And it was fun. But I was nasty. Like, I could take my cousins out on split screen. Like, I was the best player. Still, this is before my little brother's come up. Um, so my dad gets on Halo 1. I think he had played most of the game already, so he's like, you know what, I'm gonna get on. I'm gonna finish Halo 1. And at the end of Halo 1, there's this driving sequence, like the same thing as Halo 3. Um, for those of you that remember all these different games. Halo 1, you're in the Pillar of Autumn, so like you're in this giant spaceship and I'm pretty sure you're trying to drive the spaceship into Halo to prevent the Covenant from destroying the universe or something like that. And then the ship's exploding and you have to drive to get out, to get into the Pelican. And my dad was playing this level over and over again. Like, he just could not figure out the fucking driving. And I'm sitting there, being a goated little kid. I'm just like, my dad is fucking stupid. Like, what? Why is this guy having so much trouble with this? Maybe he was playing on a high difficulty, but I don't think he was. I think he was just kind of bad. And he kept trying and trying and trying and trying. And then he gets to the very end. The last part of the level is like you're running down a bridge towards the Pelican, which is like a ship that you're supposed to fly out on, and he's going and going, and the guy was fucking, he wasn't killing the enemies. Like, he was just towards the end, and when he could see the Pelican, he was like, oh my god, it's over, and he just would run and be getting shot in the back. And I'm just like, dude, kill the fucking enemies. But he doesn't do it, he just keeps running. He literally gets this close. He's standing in front of the Pelican and he gets shot. He's on, like, I'm locked into this shit too emotionally. Like, he's no HP, no shields, running to the Pelican. I can tell he wants to be done so bad. Like, he's struggling with this so much for no reason. And then boom, he gets shot in the back by a plasma rifle or plasma pistol or whatever. He just dies. The camera pans up and you just see Master Chief's body face down. And he just gave up. He never finished Halo 1. I never forgot that. I couldn't believe he was giving up. I was like, this guy can't beat Halo 1. Like, he can't beat Halo 1. This is crazy. I could not believe it. And he never did beat it. That was it. That was the last time he played Halo 1. And that was the last time we were ever played video games in the same room, I think. I can't, I don't know, maybe that wasn't, actually, no, I did think of one other time. I think we played Need for Speed together later on the 360. To be fair, he also was kind of nasty at the Need for Speed. I think he did beat me in that. So he wasn't like a total fail with the video games. But yeah, that's the story. He died on that bridge. He didn't make it to the Pelican and he gave up. He never finished Halo 1. And I just couldn't believe it. But yeah, maybe if you never played Area 51, I would say check it out. Maybe I'll play Area 51. That'd be like a good nostalgia trip. I feel like the game is probably pretty bad. I remember dual wielding. You could get the dual machine gun. Like, the guns were just so over the top. It was just like, just have two giant shotguns. But yeah, I think that's enough. That was a nice little 24-minute nostalgia trip. My dad's dead now. He died in 2023, I think. So it was either that or Need for Speed last time we played video games with him. Dang, bro. But yeah, if you actually watch this whole video, that's really cool. I'm pretty sure this video is going to get 0 views. I don't really post that much, but I do kind of want to make more just rambling videos like this. I've seen so many YouTube channels where people are just rambling about stuff. It's usually kind of like political or like trying to give life advice. But I'm gonna think of more stuff to talk about. Probably gonna clean my room, set up my green screen better, because you can see I was too lazy to do it. My laundry's all over the floor. There's a pile of electronics over there. Guess my life is kind of just a disaster right now, so I'm just doing this to distract myself. But yeah, let me know if you played Area 51. If you watched this whole video and you played Area 51. Let me know what you remember. I had so many things I remember. The turret, the guy's head getting ripped off. You turn into an alien. You get alien superpowers. Then there's a guy in a lab in a wheelchair. I'm pretty sure. UFO, big alien guy. Shit was dope. Shit was so dope. Um, yeah. See you next time.